Hi, how are you? Purpose of speaking today is to make an argument against humanity. Well, I may be exaggerating right now, but maybe it is a valid argument. And one thing I know for sure that right now I have no idea about it. Let us see if we can come to a conclusion. Some unwritten laws of nature might be stacked against me, but let's hear me out. So, regarding the concept of being a vegetarian for the sake of cruelty to animals, and to be honest, it already sounds like a controversy to me. Arguments for being a vegetarian can range from your religious affiliations or your political inclinations, because in some countries, eating some animal and eating another animal might be considered blasphemy, and people can be easily divided on the basis of that. So, your political inclinations or simply a humanitarian belief. So, I'm going to focus on this latter argument. And it is the belief that humans do wrong to animals by killing them for meat. Reasons for such a claim are fairly reasonable for many people, like killing someone is wrong. Now, although that again is a debatable thing, because the number one reason why people are not murderers is because of the rule of law. And maybe if there was no law for a murder, maybe maybe people would do that. Such a law, but it's not there for animals, especially the ones that are meant for meat eating purposes. Another reason for not eating meat is that it causes cruelty to animals. I mean, cruelty not the act of killing them, but the actions that lead to their death, how they're treated in slaughterhouses, and of course, there's another argument, the existential argument, that an animal was born just to be killed, and maybe an animal might not possess that constitution to think like this, but humans, if they empathize with them, maybe they can think of that. And there's another argument that it causes global warming. Maybe it's true. I'm not going to attempt to find flaws in these arguments, and I'm also not going to defend the meat eating community. I will try to create basically a much more general perspective regarding our treatment of animals, and for that matter, the whole ecological structure itself. Our civilization basically has evolved from being farmers and hunters, and nowadays we are data scientists and community leaders. We have modern equipment like mobile phones and computers to connect our calls. We have amusement parks to make us happy. We have trains, we have aeroplanes to make us reach places in no time. And we have the monuments and skyscrapers to make us proud. But these are not at the cost, but are these really not at the cost of the ecological systems which existed in our cities before? Isn't it true that there used to be so many birds, like just 2 decades before, and now we can't find any of them except in our gardens and parks? Are we not eliminating stray dogs because we find them a menace in our societies? Are we not stripping our wildlife, such as the lions, the hyenas, and the elephants, of their homes, putting them in designated areas so that they don't interfere with our city lives? Are we not caging them? Have we not monopolized the food chain? Why, why the hell do we display compassion for animals that are killed in our plain sight while we don't react to the slow poison which has eliminated their homes and their whole species? People are speaking up about how oceans have become dead zones, where plants and fishes have stopped reproducing because of toxic waters. The color of the water is grey and it has become slimy and polluted. Isn't our own clean city itself a designated dead zone for animals? If you don't think so, just consider this example. Can a stray cat stay alive for its whole life like a human being if it were to be left out in the streets? Where would she get the food from? We don't throw litter on the ground. It's sealed in plastic bags and put in dumpsters along with our waste and vomit. That waste is transported to the waste management companies. If there's a hospital nearby you, you also might find syringes, injections, toxic medicines in the dumpsters. How do you suppose the cat can get its food from? What if she accidentally eats a syringe? What if she steps on it? There will be dogs chasing that cat, and those dogs, where will they get their food from? In the ancient times, dogs used to be with people who used to give them food that they ate. Sometimes even their waste bones of the meat that they were consuming. How do you suppose to accomplish that from the sixth floor of your plush condo? Do these stray animals have a long and happy life with retirement plans and a natural death? In all probability, they will die because of one of your environmentally friendly electric vehicles. Cities are dead zones for all animals that don't have a home. But of course, we have a solution for this. You know, we have a solution. We opened zoos and domesticated dogs and cats so they could have a home. That might be noble, but not all breeds of dogs and cats were made to be pets. You could have a Labrador or German Shepherd or Dachshund. But what about the stray dogs who roam around? If you are from a first world nation, you might not even see stray dogs because they have been eliminated. But if you come to a developing nation, you will see them. How are these developing nations solving this problem of stray animals? It's quite simple. They are being systematically castrated. So they will eventually go extinct. They are just being castrated so they won't reproduce. And after that, only your Labradors and pugs are going to remain. I could someday extend this argument to actually compare these stray animals to the lower income groups of our countries because their treatment is more or less the same in our capitalist framework. But that would warrant a video of its own. So, my question to a vegetarian in this respect would be to consider the effect of human civilization itself on animals instead of just singling out the slaughterhouse argument. But there's a very simple counter to these arguments. There is that if there is a being and it has to survive, it can only come at the cost of killing another one. That the food we eat only comes at the cost of death. And the general argument that I have placed here being that the life you live comes at the cost of genocide.